Albert II is the head of the House of Grimaldi and has been the ruling Prince of Monaco for many years. To keep people interested, the prince has had just the right amount of drama and glitz in his life since he was younger. This has made him a favorite of both local and foreign press. Find out some of the hottest facts about the Prince of Monaco by watching on. He was born a prince already. In March 1958, Prince Albert II was born in the Palace of Monaco. He was born into a family with a prince and a princess who were famous all over the world. Rainier III and Grace Kelly, a movie star, had 2 children. Because of this, Albert II had the honor of having dual citizenship from a very young age. Half of his citizenship came from the United States, and the other half came from the Principality of Monaco. He did give up his American citizenship, though, when he was a young adult. It was known that he threw amazing parties. That incident didn't last long, though, because the prince already had a few other ones ready to leak to the public. This time it wasn't so much about a new lover as it was about the prince's ability to throw some of Monaco's most fancy parties. The young prince was, without a doubt, Monaco's most eligible bachelor, and he knew how to use his power to get suitable bachelorettes to come to his parties. At one point, that was in way too many newspapers. 35 people chose to skinny dip in the palace pool, which probably made things pretty hot. Of course, his parents were very upset about yet another scandal that wasn't necessary. He did pretty well in school. The young prince did pretty well in school, even though he was very good at giving his parents the worst headaches of their lives. In 1976, he finished with honors from the Lycée Albert Premier. His mother told him it was time to go study somewhere else after a year of training to be a prince and throw parties. Too much of a playboy image had been built up in Europe by that point, and she hoped that moving to a new place would help him cool down a bit. He suddenly lost his mother. Albert II would lose his mother when he was only 24 years old. The world would have to say goodbye to a famous princess and Hollywood star. Grace Kelly would never get to see her son settle down or her daughter become the princess she always dreamed she would be. She would pass away so quickly that she wouldn't even see her son finish. This happened to Grace Kelly in 1982 when she was 52 years old. She was in a car crash and died from her injuries. The whole family was devastated. The death of Grace Kelly was a terrible blow to the royal family. There was a lot of grief in the family for years. Albert II didn't know how to deal with the loss, and their father, Rainier III, is said to have never fully recovered. Albert II said that he was never the same man again, although everyone else was still sad. Albert II found a strange way to deal with his huge loss. He started dating several women as quickly as possible. When his father died, a new era began. Prince Albert II was still acting like a child, even though he was in his late 40s. But he had to do what he was supposed to do because he had an important part to play. Everything changed when his father, Prince Rainier III, died in 2005. He'd been heartbroken his whole life. His death started a new era for Prince Albert II. He was about to be crowned king, and his days as a playboy were coming to an end. But just as Albert II was about to be crowned king, and not long after the older royal had died, there was another incident involving Albert II. He had another child without being married. Tabloids were full of stories about how Nicole Coste, a flight attendant from Togo, said that Albert II was the father of her boy. However, she didn't just make these claims without any proof. She had proof, so that Albert II would have to face his duties. It was proven through a DNA test that Albert was the father of Alexandre Coste. This time, Albert II didn't even try to defend himself against the serious accusations. He just agreed with them and then sent Nicole and the young Alexander to live in one of his Paris flats. She'd be able to let go and enjoy her life with her child, he thought. He was finally made king. He hoped that the scandal would go away, but it didn't. Things got worse right before he was about to be crowned king. As proof that he had another boy, pictures of him carrying Alexander in his arms were all over the news. In the end, he told everyone that the boy was his son. In November 2005, he would finally take on his royal tasks at the event that made him king. The coronation was very big. There were representatives from over 16 royal families around the world, as well as the whole Monegasque royal family. In April 2006, Albert started his tasks as king by going to the North Pole. He was the first head of state to make the very dangerous trip. He finally met the woman he wanted to settle down with. Prince Albert II did settle down in the end, even though it looked like he never would. When she finally swept him off his feet enough to get him to marry her, he was 48 years old. The woman is Charlene Wittstock, who was born in South Africa and used to swim in the Olympics. People all over the world were shocked when they made their relationship public during the 2006 Winter Olympics. For many decades, people had been waiting for a royal wedding to happen. It was about to happen, and something else Olympians knew. When they got married in 2011, the prince publicly gave his new wife a pear-shaped pearl necklace made of 18-karat gold that was set with 1,200 diamonds. He's worth $1 billion. There's a lot of money in Prince Albert's bank account. His assets are worth over $1 billion right now. It's no secret that the prince comes from a lot of different places because he rules over one of the richest countries in the world. He's thought to be one of the richest royals in the world. His wealth comes from his very expensive real estate holdings, which include land and homes in France and Monaco. The house his late mother owned in Philadelphia is also owned by the prince and is worth a huge $754,000. The prince also has some shares in the Société de Bain de Mer and a huge collection of cars that he got from his father. The prince had many romantic relationships throughout his life, but who was the woman he chose to settle down with? The truth isn't quite like a fairy tale, though. This is the story of Charlene of Monaco. Charlene of Monaco's touching story is told in The Sad Princess. Being rich and popular puts you in the public eye, and some things are too shocking to keep to yourself. This is the case with Charlene, the beautiful princess of Monaco right now. Before she met the Prince of Monaco, Princess Charlene's life seemed full of promise. She was a good Olympic swimmer. Here is the beautiful story of this mysterious princess. Everyone was charmed by her beauty. Charlene Wittstock is a stunning blonde bombshell who stands tall and looks royal. With 5 feet 9 inches, she's almost the same height as Prince Albert, who's 5 feet 11 inches. Lots of people say she looks a lot like the South African star Charlize Theron. She's also been called a Barbie princess by the Monescues. We're pretty sure they didn't mean this as a praise, though. Vanity Fair said she has the level gaze of a lioness. It's not a surprise that Prince Albert liked her. She was also kind, funny, and down-to-earth. She knew that the prince was meant to be with her. Even though meeting Prince Albert was amazing and changed Charlene's life, she was only 22 years old and was focused on her swimming career. She talked about how she felt when she met him for the first time at the Mare Nostrum swimming competition in Monte Carlo. I wasn't ready for a relationship, but as soon as I met Albert, I knew that my life was meant to be this way. People have said that I felt weak in the knees. It's a bit of a cliche to say that, but it's true. I knew he was the one. Prince Albert and Charlene instantly felt a link, even though they were very different ages. Charlene and the prince were both gold medalists in the Olympics. From 1988 to 2002, Prince Albert competed in the bobsledding event 5 times. The two were deeply concerned about the Earth and worked together to help others. Prince Albert's long-awaited engagement. Even though her first meeting with the rich and famous on the Côte d'Azur wasn't smooth, Charlene did settle in and everyone was looking forward to a royal wedding. From the outside, Prince Albert and Charlene looked like a happy, united couple, and everyone was excited about the idea of Charlene becoming their princess. In 2010, the Queen said they were going to get married, but before the official announcement to the world, Charlene was adamant about one thing. Prince Albert had to get her father, Michael Wittstock, to sign off. People say that Mr. Wittstock was thinking about the World Cup when he asked her to marry him, so she said yes without giving it much thought. We wonder if he would have agreed if he knew what we know now, or if he believed the story that the royal family was cursed. The Grimaldi family curse. Some stories say that 700 years ago, the Grimaldi family was cursed. The story that's told the most is that a Flemish woman, Prince Rainier I, cursed him. All future Grimaldi descendants were cursed with the phrase, "Never will a Grimaldi find happiness in marriage." The House of Grimaldi has a sad history, with Catherine Charlotte de Gramont leaving Prince Louis I after having several affairs to become King Louis XVI's mistress. Princess Charlotte had 2 children, Prince Rainier and Princess Antoinette, but they later got divorced. American star Grace Kelly was married to Prince Rainier III, but she died when she was 52 years old. Finally, Princess Caroline and Princess Alexandra both had 3 bad marriages. She was a famous actress named Princess Grace. Prince Albert II and his father, Prince Rainier III, both fell in love outside of Europe. Grace Kelly, who was married to Prince Rainier, won an Academy Award, 3 Golden Globes, and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame during her relatively short playing career. She quit her successful job to take care of her kids and do what she had to do as Prince Rainier III's wife. I would like to be remembered as someone who accomplished useful deeds and who was a kind and loving person. I would like to leave the memory of a human being with a correct attitude and who did her best to help others, Grace the Princess. Princess Charlene is successful on her own, and while she's not as well known as Grace Kelly, she has made a name for herself before she started dating Prince Albert II. Prince Albert has several more children. Prince Albert informed Charlene that he had 2 unmarried children. However, 4 women claimed he fathered their children. Tamara Rotolo sued him in 1992, claiming he fathered Jasmine Grace. The court threw out the case, but DNA proved Prince Albert was the father. He gave Jasmine money and invited her to Monaco to study. He was Alexandre Coste's father, according to Nicole. A 10-page Paris Match interview with Coste included photos of Albert holding the newborn. He first denied the charges but then acknowledged fatherhood. B. Fielder, a topless German model, was another contender. No witness was present for the DNA sample, thus the court dismissed the case. Finally, a Brazilian lady claimed he fathered her kid while dating Charlene. Charlene attempted to escape Monaco many times before her wedding. The prince's controversy surfaced before the wedding, which was intended to be joyful. In Paris, wearing her wedding dress, Charlene learned that she had another kid without her husband's consent. When Charlene learned that there was a 3rd kid, not hers, she locked herself in the South African consulate and refused to return to Monaco. She unwillingly returned to Monaco to escape again. Charlene reportedly attempted to flee the Grand Prix. She reached Nice airport on her 3rd attempt. Her passport was seized so the prince's entourage could persuade her to stay. Prince Albert convinced Charlene to remain and marry him. Many individuals have various theories on how he accomplished it when she insisted. She embraced her new royal position. Since she was an Olympic diver, Charlene understands hard work and training. She worked hard as Princess Consort of Monaco, just as she did while swimming, exceeding expectations. She converted from Protestant to Roman Catholicism. She mastered European Court of Justice regulations and received aid in French in Monaco. Wedding of the Queen. The Prince's Palace of Monaco hosted the royal wedding on July 1st and 2nd, 2011. The first wedding was in the royal chamber. Philippe Narmino conducted the 20-minute ceremony, and the bride and groom signed their marriage license using a Mont Blanc pen created for the occasion. South African and loyal chefs prepared a palace square buffet. The next day, Archbishop Bernard Barcy conducted the Royal Garden religious service. Some events were held in Afrikaans, one of South Africa's official languages. By Montesquieu tradition, Princess Charlene placed her bridal bouquet in the Saint-Devote Chapel. The Opera de Monte Carlo hosted the welcoming meal. Dinner ended with fireworks and a ball. Charlene wore Najib Taba's Infinite Cascade jewelry and a Giorgio Armani wedding dress. Charlene talks wedding. Charlene's claims of being a fugitive bride, her tears throughout the ceremony, and her 3rd illegitimate child tale alarmed everyone. The wedding occurred on July 1st and 2nd, 2011, starting with an Eagles concert on June 30th. Charlene told the Sunday Times in 2013 that her overwhelming emotions triggered her tears. She said, "Everything was overwhelming, and the rumors caused mixed emotions. Stress caused me to cry after the ceremony. I began weeping again because I thought, oh no, now the whole world is seeing me cry. The first kiss after marriage. Monaco, like France, requires a civil ceremony for legitimate weddings. After the civil ceremony, the newlyweds kiss. Unfortunately, Prince Albert asked Charlene to kiss him on the Salon de Grace's balcony, and she flinched. He already told her not to cry. This was not our dream wedding. A tearful wedding made Charlene the sad princess. Princess Charlene became the sad princess following the wedding fiasco. Charlene recognizes her nickname but adds, "People are very quick to say, oh, why isn't she smiling in the photos? Sometimes it's hard to smile. They lack context." The Sunday Times said that Charlene was reluctant to marry Albert 2 days before the wedding and that their marriage was false. To deny the charges, Prince Albert and Princess Charlene sued the journal for libel. Sunday Times apologized and compensated for an undisclosed amount. However, the accusations plague their relationship. Royal couple expecting twins. Prince Albert and Princess Charlene proudly announced a delightful event on May 30th, 2014. The baby's due later this year. October brought news of their twin pregnancy. In New York, Princess Charlene told Hello, "I feel great." Charlene was pregnant after 3 years, which sources claim caused her sadness over not having an heir and relief that the end was near. BFM TV quoted Prince Albert, "It's one of the beautiful surprises that life offers us." The twins were born via cesarean section at Princess Grace Hospital on December 10th, 2014. Heir born. Gabriella Therese Marie and Jacques-Honoré Renier Grimaldi's birth was commemorated with a cannon discharge on December 10th, 2014. 42 rounds, 21 each child. Gabriella was healthy and born 2 minutes before her brother Jacques, now king. Prince Albert was pleased for his twins to carry on his legacy after learning their gender at birth. He mentioned having an heir and growing up in the palace with his parents. "They made it look cozier," he claimed. Express.co.uk questioned parenting expert Joe Austin and Charlene's strategy for raising royal twins. Any twin parent knows how important cooperation is between Princess Charlene and Prince Albert. Joe adds, "Charlene raises her children in the public eye, so disciplining them must be discreet." Berkeley International Relationship Council and strategist Mariad Molloy stated Charlene has a lovely balance of sensitivity and gentle boundaries, and she's an active listener. Mariad says raising children in public is different for royals. Charlene must be careful with her parenting, but still raise her children to be a good kid. They should be courteous, clean, and friendly. Public opinion on Princess Charlene's stepchildren partnership. Conflicting accusations and wild conjecture surround Princess Charlene's relationship with Prince Albert and his 2 illegitimate children, Jasmine Grimaldi and Alexandre Grimaldi Coste. Some accounts say she connected with Jasmine and Alexandra because they were outsiders trying to fit in with the harsh Montesquieu's. Other sources say she's frightened by Prince Albert's closeness to his oldest children and believes he should concentrate on his legitimate children. When Albert and Charlene were engaged and Alexandra was 8, Nicole Coste told Paris Match, "She changed my son's room, taking advantage of his father's absence to put him in the employee wing. As a mother, I cannot describe these actions." Albert is outraged and disputes the claim. Princess Charlene sponsors several causes. Prince Albert and Charlene adore philanthropy. Their commonalities united them. After her wedding, Charlene helps additional organizations. The list is long, but it includes the Princess Charlene of Monaco Foundation, Special Olympics, Giving Organizations Trust, Ladies Lunch Monte Carlo, Nelson Mandela Foundation, Princess Grace Foundation USA, AMF-AR, AIDS Research Foundation, and Monaco Against Autism. Charlene assisted the Thanda Foundation Trust and Project Rhino in dehorning rhinoceros in South Africa in May 2021. A rhino is slaughtered for its horn every 22 hours in South Africa. Protecting rhinos helps other species by preserving their habitat. Princess Charlene stated, "We preserve local heritage for future generations." Princess Charlene no longer cares what others think. Following the latest allegations that Prince Albert fathered another illegitimate child with Charlene, many feel her new hairstyle is more about her mental pain than a style decision. At a 2020 Christmas party, her punkish, one-sided hairdo shocked guests. But Charlene responded, "I chose this hairdo." Many comments seem to have ensued. "However, I love the style and wanted it for ages, only that," she answered Prince Albert's hairstyle remarks. After the initial surprise wore off, the prince understood and likes it now. She informs them that 2021 has more problems than her hair. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon